You two people, another day, another Pokemon release on the old Pokemon Center. That's right. Ascended Heroes went up for pre-order on Tuesday afternoon. I'm sorry, Monday and Tuesday. I should specify here because it did go up 2 different days. ETBs, PC ETBs went up first, and then booster bundles went up the next day. I did strike out on ETBs. Once again, the timing on this for me is always terrible. And it was a roller coaster of a ride. I tried the whole phone experience. It's fine if you're in one place. It doesn't like if you're driving. And I am on the move quite frequently, bouncing from tower to tower. And it is not always the friendliest experience. If you're not super close paying attention, it'll refresh the window. It's just nonsense. And I assume your all experience was much like myself, where this was the first run-in I've had with the countdown timer, which I actually like the concept of it, and it worked well. Spoilers, I got booster bundles. I was not able to get an ETB. It worked well for me on the bundles, just kind of knowing where I was at. But on the ETBs, that thing was, I don't know what was going on with it. I got in, I think, 3 minutes after the notification went out, and it was like 4 to 5 hours on the queue. And I was like, oh boy. Whew. Whatever. I was going to be in the car for the next 2 hours. So I just put the phone on my holder, on the dash, and just kind of let it do its thing. And I checked in on it when I stopped at a red light, and I saw it had gone to 10 hours. I was like, what? 10 hours? And every time I seemed to look at it, one time I would look at it, it would go back down to 3, then it was back up to 7, and then over to 10, and then it was a mess. And by the time I got somewhere stable, they had sold out. I think they were up for about 2, maybe 3 hours. Booster bundles felt like they were up for about the same. I did manage to snag that. I did not get on right away because of the same issue. And then I got back to the office and loaded it up on the phone. It was only like a 20-some minute wait. I was worried they were going to sell out before I got in there, but ended up snagging 4 of the booster bundles. Sucks I was not able to get any of the PC ETBs. I have not had the best luck on PC ETBs for a while. One thing to keep in mind with this set, it does not come out for a while. I think this is a late January release, and I've heard some things that this is going to be a very staggered release in regards to how product is going to filter out. Prismatic Evolutions kind of did the same thing last January. So we'll see how all that plays out. I don't think we have a ton of information yet on this. I did start to see some spoilers pop up on the old Poke Beach the other day. So way too soon to say how this set's going to perform overall. One of the interesting things that's been going on in the market in general that I've been seeing and keeping an eye on are the Charizard UPCs that GameStop, inflated the price of to basically market price of $189, $200, whatever they are. And from what I could see on social, I don't go to GameStop very often, but from what I could see on social, they don't seem to be very popular at that price point. And I believe there is another wave coming to market still to come. I saw Costco was supposed to get some drops of that, and then I think GameStop's supposed to get another wave of that from what I've heard out there in the social verse. And does that put downward pressure on those? I got one. I got the one that I was able to pre-order on Pokémon Center that came in at retail price. That's sitting on my shelf. But as I've discussed in the last couple of videos, that's kind of where I'm currently at with Pokemon sealed investing. If I could snag some stuff at retail, I'll grab it. I got some of they actually came in, part of them came in the other day. I have more coming today of the Walmart tins that went up for $17 that have 5 packs in them. Those came in. I actually just ripped the tins open and took the promos and the packs out. And I'm just going to throw the packs in a box. To not have the tins take up the space. I may end up doing the same thing. I got the previous week, I had got those other Walmart bundles. They were like $25 and they had like 6 packs in them or something. I forget. Those I still have in the box. I may end up just ripping those apart too and just taking the loose packs out of them just for a space standpoint. And kind of see where it goes from there. So I'll jump on deals if I see stuff here and there. I'm just not willing to bite the bullet at secondary market prices anymore like I used to. It just feels too risky. Feels like you're going to have to wait too long versus getting in at retail price and kind of being able to make that easy money. Not necessarily on a quick flip, but it just gives you such a head start on the hold period and the risk process of it. Like, to me, buying Pokemon sealed at retail has very little risk. Buying at secondary market has some risk, to high risk, depending on what you're paying and what the product is, but we'll see how it all filters out. But Ascended Heroes is here. We will begin to see more with it. I don't know if we'll get a secondary drop of this or not on Pokemon Center. They seem to have been a little all over the place on this stuff lately. So I guess it's kind of a quiet period now through the end of the year, over the next couple of months, with no new releases and just maybe some, reprints or restocks or second waves or third waves of different products. Phantasmal Flames seems like it continues to find its footing. Single prices on that is going to continue to go down. I was talking to some dealers at my local show this past weekend, and I don't follow slab pricing super close, but it seems like slabs are getting hit pretty hard in price reductions on a lot of stuff. So if there's something that you've been wanting, or there's something that you've had your eye on, whether it be from the sealed standpoint or a PSA graded something or other that the price is adjusted on, take a look at it. It might still continue to go lower. That's 100% in play, especially on graded stuff. And this is probably an interesting talking point for another video. I do feel like the floor in this downward spiraling market that we're currently in, or leveling off, whatever you want to call it. I personally, and I will say it right here, I am biased in this because I don't really buy a lot of Pokemon slabs. I do feel like sealed has a safer floor than singles, because at least on the sealed side, the quantity on the market is always becoming less. Every time someone opens that box, opens that pack, there is less of it in existence. And the inverse is true, because once that pack is open, those are now cards into the wild, and they are making their way through the PSA machine. And that is going to be more inventory on that side of the market. So if the prices continue to fall on that quantity is going to continue to increase. Now, things can change, like Pokemon Center deciding to dump a bunch of reprints onto the market for a bunch of booster boxes as an already cooling market, could have a big negative effect. But I still like the overall floor of sealed compared to singles 10 times out of 10. That's me. Like I said, I am 1,000% biased on that. So let me know. Fire off in the comments down below. What was your experience chasing the Ascended Heroes? Were you able to score any? Did you have weird queue timers like I did on the ETB? Have an absolutely fabulous Thanksgiving if you do celebrate, and I will catch you boys and girls sometime after the holiday. Peace.